Puppeteer is a platformer game developed by SCE Japan Studio for the PlayStation 3. It is directed by Gavin Moore, who served as lead animator on the Getaway, Forbidden Siren 2 and Siren, Blood Curse. The game was released worldwide on September 2013. It is playable in both traditional 2D and in 3D. Gavin Moore says Puppeteer plays better in 3D than other games because the camera does an unregistered trademark T move, and his team used a method of 3D that has an unregistered trademark T resulted in a reduced frame rate. Gameplay: Puppeteer is a side-scrolling platformer in which the player controls the character Kitaro, a boy changed into an animated puppet, and immediately decapitated. Throughout the game, Kitaro obtains various heads to replace his own, each enabling access to certain animations, and referring to the adjacent scenery. If Kitaro is damaged by an enemy or obstacle, he loses his head. Should the player not retrieve the head within a few seconds, it will disappear. Kitaro can hold 3 heads at a time, and when they are all lost, he restarts from the last checkpoint. The player can earn an extra life by collecting 100 moon sparkles in a given section of the game. Throughout most of the story, Kitaro is armed with a pair of magical scissors, known as calibras, enabling him to cut through some portions of the scenery, and thus to reach otherwise inaccessible areas. His stated object is to acquire the shards of moonstone from the game's villains and to free the souls of children like himself from the malevolent figures containing them, all the while saving a goddess in distress. The game is playable by 1 or 2 players. If 2 are playing, the second player controls Kitaro's companion, who can examine foreign objects and find interactables, moon sparkles, and new heads for Kitaro. In single-player mode, the 2 analog sticks on the joypad each control a character. At some points of the story, Kitaro acquires 4 more weapons: the Knight's Shield, which repels attacks by enemies; the Ninja Bombs, which destroy obstacles or rearrange the scenery at locations marked by the stylized outline of a bomb; the Pirate's Hook, which draws designated objects towards Kitaro to form pathways, or may be used to free souls or dismantle enemies; and the Wrestler's Helmet, which enables Kitaro to destroy designated obstacles or strike an enemy with a special force. The game is presented as a puppet show in front of an audience, who can be heard cheering and laughing when impressive actions take place. It is divided into 7 acts, each of which comprise 3 curtains. Each curtain has a set number of heads to collect, a set number of souls to rescue, and a hidden area. For 100% completion, the player must revisit old curtains. Plot: the story occurs in a concave world representing Earth's moon, inhabited by pseudo-folkloric characters, the first half on the dark side of the moon, and the second half on the earthward side. Its premise states that the world's ruler, the moon goddess, was overthrown by her subordinate, Little Bear, when the latter seized her black moonstone and the scissor-set calibras, and declared himself Moon Bear King. Throughout the game, each of his 12 generals is set part of the moon world in disorder, each holding a portion of the goddess' white moonstone. The player character Kitaro is one of many children changed into animated wooden puppets and enslaved in the king's mobile fortress, Castle Grizzlystein. In the dungeons thereof, Kitaro is found by the goddess's cat, Aang Yang, who leads Kitaro to his current mistress, the moon witch Esmapots, who orders Kitaro to capture Calibras. This weapon allows Kitaro to fight the king's puppets and release the souls within, allowing them to escape back to Earth. When the witch demands the scissors, they adhere to Kitaro, and she allows him to oppose the 12 generals. During the defeat of the first, Kitaro rescues Picarina, Princess of the Sun, whom the Moon Bear King had captured. Under Pot's guidance, Kitaro and Picarina venture to the various realms of the moon, to vanquish each general in turn: General Rat, in the Moonwood Forest; General Snake, in a desert created by himself; Generals Pig and Sheep, in an ocean inhabited by whales, fish, cephalopods, and mermaids; General Horse in a railway-themed racing track, and General Bull in a Lucha Libre match; General Dog in a Halloween-themed forest; General Rabbit in an obstacle course resembling Victorian England. Through a maze of playing cards, and finally in a contest of legerdemain. General Rooster in a topiary garden and upon a clock tower. General Dragon in the sky. And General Monkey in outer space, through the western zodiac, until arrival at the sun. Here, Picarina's father challenges the Moon Bear King, but is instantly defeated, and returns Kitaro and Picarina to the moon. When the White Moonstone is reassembled, Potts becomes the Moon Goddess, but is instantly trapped by the Moon Bear King, and must be rescued by Kitaro. Propelled thereto by a cannon, Kitaro and Picarina disable Castle Grizzlestein and reduce the Moon Bear King to his former shape of Little Bear, who surrenders the Black Moonstone in exchange for Kitaro's friendship, and restores Kitaro's head. All the 12 generals are resurrected and converted from evil to good. And Kitaro, accompanied by Calibris and Yin Yang, returns to Earth. Development. On July 21, 2010, Sony filed a trademark titled Puppeteer. It has been speculated that it would be a game that would make use of the PlayStation Move technology in order to control the main character. 2 years later, the trademark was later revealed to be indeed for a game with its official announcement at Gamescom 2012. In December 2012, Gavin Moore, the director of the video game, posted an entry on the European PlayStation blog, stating that the video game is shaping up nicely, playing great and looking awesome. From January we will be polishing, refining and adding extra little details, to make the whole experience something fantastical and wonderful that PlayStation fans deserve. I will be in London for 2 weeks doing the voice recordings in January, popping across to Budapest for the music recordings, then back to Japan with all my wonderful assets to shove them lovingly into the game. This is one of my favorite parts of game creation. Getting the final assets into the game really brings everything together. References. External links: official UK website, official US website, official Japanese website.